Hey there, animal explorers! Welcome to the place where even the cutest little bird might actually be a full-blown drama king of nature. Here we talk about animals, but not in that dry textbook kind of way. Not that we have anything against books, okay? It's just that around here, it's Curious Friend talking to Curious Friend. So go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell, because every day is a good day to discover a new animal oddity or cuteness overload. Today, I'm going to show you some birds so ridiculously beautiful, they look like they were hand-painted by a Renaissance artist in the middle of an existential crisis. Seriously, if the Mona Lisa were a bird, she'd 100% be on this list. But don't be fooled, some of these beauties are so full of themselves, they'd make that one arrogant coworker of yours look humble. So grab your imaginary binoculars and take a seat, because we're about to meet 11 birds that are true living works of art. And hey, in the end, let me know in the comments, which one would you adopt to strut around town like you owned the place? Let's go. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Now let's get started. Number 11, the legendary resplendent quetzal. Or for the close friends, Phaeromachus machinna. This guy is so gorgeous, it's like someone dumped the entire Photoshop color palette onto a single bird. He lives in misty mountain rainforests, mostly in Central America, places like southern Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Honduras, and El Salvador. But not just any forest, okay? He prefers cloud forests, those magical places that are always foggy and filled with towering trees draped in moss. The chest is ruby red, the body glows with metallic emerald green, and the male's tail feathers can reach over 1 meter in length, creating a floating veil effect when he flies. It's like he's wearing a gala gown designed by some eccentric Paris Fashion Week stylist. He mainly feeds on fruits from Lauraceae trees, but will snack on insects and small vertebrates from time to time, because hey, even vegetarians sneak a BBQ bite once in a while. The Aztecs and Mayans considered the quetzal sacred. In Mayan culture, he was a symbol of the air god and represented freedom and wealth. His feathers were worn by kings and priests without killing the bird, as it was forbidden to harm a quetzal. And get this, the quetzal cannot survive in captivity. If caged, it literally dies of stress. In other words, this bird takes freedom so seriously, it would rather die than be locked up. Imagine being so free-spirited that your very soul refuses to be confined. That is the quetzal, beauty and liberty, feathered. Number 10, Wilson's bird of paradise. Or if you're fancy, Cichinourus respublica. This flashy little diva lives on Waigeo and Batanta Islands in Indonesia, in lowland tropical rainforests where it's so humid even your hairdryer would quit. He's only about 16 centimeters long, but don't let the size fool you. His body is black with a green chest and red wings, but the real showstopper is his head, a shiny, featherless, electric blue dome that looks like he rubbed coconut oil all over it before hitting the dance floor. And don't forget the two elegant spiral tail feathers like carnival dancer accessories, but make it fashion. He mostly eats fruit and small insects, the kind of guy who orders a salad at the pizza buffet just to seem healthy before going wild. The males are absolute performers. They do these hypnotic little dances to impress females, puffing out their chests, shaking those fancy tail feathers, and spinning their heads to show off that blue skull like, "Look how I shine, Queen, marry me." Honestly, if he were human, he'd be that guy at the club, constantly checking if his hair is still perfect. This bird doesn't just sing, he puts on a full concert with costume changes, choreography, and Beyonce-level sparkle. Number 9, the golden pheasant. Also known as Chrysolophus pictus. This one basically looks like the love child of a peacock in a Rio Carnival costume. Native to the mountainous forests of western China, the golden pheasant now struts freely and parks across the UK too like he owns the place. The male is a total spectacle. A golden crest that flows down the neck like a cape, bright red body, orange belly, blue wings, and shimmering green back. His long tail is patterned with elegant black stripes. He's always red carpet ready, like he's headed to an Elton John concert. He's not picky seeds, fruits, leaves, insects. He eats it all. That friend who devours everything at the party from appetizers to dessert, no shame. Despite the influencer look, he's actually super shy. Most of his time is spent hiding on the ground among the bushes. But during mating season, the male spreads that golden cape and performs a dance that looks like a golden fan fluttering in the breeze. If he were human, he'd be the quiet kid no one notices in class until presentation day, when he shows up with a 3D effect PowerPoint and steals the show. This pheasant doesn't need filters or ring lights. He was born ready for the spotlight. And we're just getting started on this parade. We've got plenty more living masterpieces coming up. Oh, and here comes another bird of paradise. You might be wondering, why do so many have that name? It's because all birds in the Paradiseidae family have such insanely extravagant plumage that when early European explorers first saw them, they literally thought they were heavenly creatures straight from paradise. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Number 8, King of Saxony Bird of Paradise, Pterodophora alberti, the extraterrestrial that got it right. You might think you've seen all the weird birds on Earth, but let me introduce you to perhaps the most fashion-forward creature nature has ever dared to create, the King of Saxony Bird of Paradise. Or if you want to be close friends, you can call it by its scientific name, Pterodophora alberti, which already sounds like the name of an avant-garde Italian designer who only works with experimental fabrics and extreme weather conditions. Yes, it's real. No, it's not a Star Wars character, although honestly, it looks better designed than half the digital aliens fiction has created. Habitat, the most remote backstage on Earth. It lives in the mountain forests of New Guinea at altitudes up to 2,800 meters, where the air is thin, the humidity is off the charts, and the cold fogs up everything. But for him, it's the perfect stage. Ideal climate to keep his hair silky, his dance moves sharp, and his look always on point. It's as if he chose a setting that matches his outfit because, let's be real, this bird wasn't born to go unnoticed. Visual, somewhere between alien cosplay and haute couture. Let's talk facts. The male of the species is, without exaggeration, a walking masterpiece. Black body, vibrant yellow chest, but what really steals the show are the two ridiculously long plumes that grow from behind his eyes. Imagine antennae coming out of his head, with iridescent micro-orbs along the strands that shimmer like they have a life of their own. If he were human, he'd be that classmate who shows up to college in a holographic jacket, LED headphones, platform shoes, and a quantum ring necklace. And the best or worst part, he pulls it off. These antennas aren't just for looks, they're part of his seduction arsenal. And we're not talking shy flirting here. The love or glam performance. When it's time to impress a mate, the male prepares the stage. He cleans the branch, positions himself, raises the feather antennas, and starts the show. He waves those lateral structures side to side in a rhythmic, hypnotic motion, like he's calling an invisible audience. At the same time, he lets out a mix of whistles, clicks, and metallic sounds. It's like a broken radio crossed with a futuristic synthesizer. It's as if this bird were auditioning for The Voice, Rainforest Edition, and he's the singer, choreographer, and art director all at once. And the females, cold observers. They analyze every move like judges on a reality show. If he doesn't impress, he dances alone. But if he does, applause in the form of genetic continuity, diet, berries, bugs, and boldness between fashion shows, he keeps his energy up. His diet is varied and efficient. Fruits, arthropods, insects, enough to keep his feathers shining and his energy at peak performance. And while he eats, he helps nature, spreading seeds, reforesting all while looking like he just walked off a Lady Gaga music video directed by Wes Anderson. A terrestrial alien in danger? Despite his absurd beauty and ecological importance, not much is said about him. Most people have never seen one, many don't even know he exists. He's restricted to a specific, fragile environment and depends on high-altitude forest preservation to survive. And like all creatures too spectacular for this world, he's at risk. Deforestation, climate change, hunting, habitat disruption all threaten this forest artist. We keep dimming the stars without noticing, and in this case, it might be one with glittering antennas on its head. Conclusion, the icon of eccentric biodiversity, the King of Saxony Bird of Paradise doesn't care if you're ready for him. He arrives shining, chest out, feathers swaying, futuristic song echoing through the dense jungle. It's nature in its most absurd, elegant, and unnecessarily spectacular form. But this unnecessariness is exactly the point. It reminds us that nature doesn't need justification to create beauty. It creates because it can, because it wants to, because yes, and it's up to us to stop destroying stages before the show ends. Number 7, Himalayan Monol pheasant, Lophophorus impoganus. The literal definition of splendid. This one truly lives up to its name, and splendid doesn't even begin to cover it. It lives in the mountainous forests of the Himalayas in countries like Nepal, India, Bhutan, and Tibet, usually at altitudes between 2100 and 4500 meters. While we complain about walking up a little hill, this guy is sashaying across frozen mountain slopes. The male has iridescent feathers that change color depending on the light: green, blue, purple, red, gold, and even copper. Its head is metallic green with a bright electric blue crest. Imagine that spiky blue gel look from the early 2000s, but now it's high fashion. It looks like he fell into a barrel of metallic paint and strutted out like it was fashion week. He eats roots, tubers, seeds, sprouts, insects, and small invertebrates, basically a mountain gourmet flexitarian. And despite the fancy name Himalayan Monol, he's still a type of pheasant from the Monol group, specialists in slaying the cold with style. During mating season, the male performs a special dance to impress the female, flaunting his iridescent chest and electric blue crest. In Nepal, he's known as the Donpho, and is the country's national bird, a symbol of beauty, strength, and spirituality. If he were human, he'd be that friend who shows up to the party in full sequin from head to toe, and you think, I wish I had that kind of confidence. This pheasant isn't just shiny, he's a walking aurora borealis. And now, dear nature explorers, it's time to talk about a pigeon that would give every city pigeon an inferiority complex. Number 6. Nikobar Pigeon Calawenus nikobarica, the pigeon that redefines the word. Pigeon. Picture a pigeon. Now forget everything that came to mind. Forget your city square, public benches, breadcrumbs, and poop on the statue of your town's founder. Forget that look of disdain every urban pigeon has, like it owns the concrete and you're just a passing inconvenience. Now imagine a pigeon that sparkles. Not personality, sparkle, literal shine. Emerald green, petrol blue, antique bronze, metallic gold, iridescent feathers that look hand-painted by a Renaissance jeweler on a particularly inspired day. You've just met the Nikobar pigeon, or if you want to flex in a tropical fauna conversation, Calawenus nikobarica Habitat, the exclusive club of tropical islands. This glamorous pigeon wasn't born to live under traffic lights or building ledges. It's found in some of the most remote and tropical places on the planet, like the Nikobar Islands, India, Southeast Asian archipelagos, Solomon Islands, and other small coastal rainforest and mangrove islands. In other words, it lives in Windows wallpaper level scenery, just with more humidity and zero Wi-Fi. It's a ground dweller, likes walking through dry leaves, foraging for seeds, fruits, sprouts, and tiny invertebrates. But don't be fooled, it can fly, and when it does, it soars between islands with the grace of a member of tropical bird aviation. You could call it a tropical hipster backpacker, always traveling, always stylish, always snacking on organic fruit. Visual, a red carpet moment with feathers. What really sets the Nikobar pigeon apart isn't just its rarity, it's the look. Its body is covered in long, silky, iridescent feathers. From one angle, metallic green, another, cobalt blue, tilt-a-bit, bronze, gold, maybe even a hint of purple if the light's just right. The neck, it has elongated feathers that drape down like a cape, yes, a galactic samurai cape. It's like it just walked out of a futuristic masquerade ball and stopped to eat some fruit straight from the forest floor. If this pigeon showed up in your city square, the other pigeons would ask for selfies, and it would ignore them all because real shine doesn't need approval. Family, the dodo's closest living relative. Now here's a bombshell. The Nikobar pigeon is the closest living relative of the extinct dodo, that chunky, clumsy bird from Madagascar that humanity wiped out in record time. If the dodo was the cousin who couldn't handle modern life, the Nikobar pigeon is the one who survived, evolved, and became a nature fashion icon. The fit, globe-trotting cousin, that one family member you meet at reunions and you're not sure whether to congratulate or apologize for the extinction of the rest. Ecology, threats, and the life of a tropical celebrity. Despite all its beauty, the Nikobar pigeon isn't fully safe. Like most creatures too fabulous for this world, it faces real threats. Island deforestation for agriculture and urbanization. Illegal pet trade. Yes, people want this pigeon as a pet. Invasive species like rats and cats, which attack its nests, and of course climate change altering its habitat faster than it can fly. Its island hopping abilities are a blessing, but also a curse. Isolated populations can become genetically vulnerable. It's currently classified as near threatened by the IUCN. If we're not careful, it might end up just another illustration in a natural history book, a symbol of a lost world that we can still save. The Nikobar pigeon is more than a beautiful bird. It's a living reminder of what Earth once had and what we still have time to protect. A gem with wings, a survivor of an almost lost lineage, a feathered messenger from a time when tropical islands pulsed with life. And it's still here, eating fruit, reflecting sunlight off its feathers like a mirror from paradise, walking through the leaves like it knows it's rare and is committed to looking even rarer. Conclusion, a pigeon that redefines pigeon. If you thought all pigeons were the same, Kalawina's Nikobarica is here to destroy your assumptions and rebuild them in shimmering style. It's the kind of bird that doesn't need to sing to be noticed. It just needs to show up. And honestly, maybe it's time to rethink your pigeon prejudice, because some of them come dressed for a gala, with the soul of an artist and a genetic legacy worthy of a natural history museum exhibit. Number 5. Violet Torocco, Musophaga violacea. He doesn't want to be discreet. He wasn't born for it. The Violet Torocco is the kind of bird that looks like it walked straight out of a Beyonce music video shot in an African rainforest. This creature struts with royal elegance, seems to know it's stunning, and even makes noise just to make sure nobody misses its grand entrance. Think you've seen intense color. You haven't seen purple until you've seen the purple of this Torocco. It's not that faded lavender of a washed out t-shirt. It's a deep, velvety, dense purple, the kind of tone fashion designers spend half a collection trying to replicate. Habitat, the green runway of West Africa. Musophaga violacea lives in an address that perfectly matches its style. Dense tropical forests, moist savannas, shrub zones full of wild berries. Countries like Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana, and Ivory Coast are its personal runway. Imagine a bird this colorful flying across a golden treetop lit by the African sunset. That's when you realize nature doesn't need Instagram filters. It invents its own RGB. Visuals, the runway never stops. It's impossible to look at the Violet Torocco and think just another bird. It's a living installation. Its body is covered in purple feathers that don't just absorb light, they defy the logic of natural fabric. It's like it's made of royal velvet, dyed with the secret extract of a forbidden flower. Its beak, in contrast, is short, curved, and bright orange, as if it stole a piece of the sunset. And as if that weren't enough to make all the other birds feel basic, it flaunts a bold red crest, standing tall like a rock star mohawk on a world tour. But here's the best part. When it flies, yes, it flies, it reveals vibrant red flight feathers. The contrast between its deep purple body and the flashing red in motion is so dramatic, you might wonder if you're watching CGI made for a superhero movie. Spoiler, it's not. It's real. Diet fit but indulgent. The Violet Torocco is a committed frugivore. It mainly eats fruits, buds, and flowers. Its menu sounds like something off an organic brunch list. Wild figs? Yes. Super ripe fruits? Of course. Edible flowers? Why not? Selected seeds? If it fits in the beak, it's in. But don't think it's one of those who pretend to be healthy all the time. Give it an overly ripe, juicy fruit and it'll devour it happily. It's the kind of bird that knows how to balance detox and pleasure. Vocalizations, silence isn't an option. If there's one thing the Torocco doesn't do, it's go unnoticed. It doesn't sing like a canary. It doesn't chirp like a hummingbird. It makes loud, metallic, strong sounds, like a rock and roll parrot checking in for a show. Its call is a warning. I'm here, and if you didn't see me, now you heard me. It's that friend who walks into the party with a shiny blazer, patent leather shoes, and a laugh that echoes through the whole room. You haven't even seen their face yet, but you already know the main character has arrived. Behavior, the necessary show-off. Despite all the glam and attitude, the Violet Torocco is more than just looks. It's a social bird, usually found in small groups or pairs, hopping between branches with agility, always observing with that "I'm fabulous but alert" energy. It also plays an important ecological role, helping disperse seeds and keeping forests thriving. While eating fruit, it spreads the future of trees across the fertile African soil. It's like it's saying, yes, I'm fabulous, and yes, I'm saving the planet. Conservation, beauty under threat. As dazzling as it is, the Violet Torocco faces challenges. Ongoing deforestation of tropical forests, urban and agricultural expansion, wildlife trafficking, because some people think a bird like this belongs in a cage. Fortunately, it's not directly endangered for now, but it's on the watch list. After all, a bird like this can't disappear without leaving a gaping aesthetic and ecological hole in the world. Conclusion: the forest's fashion icon. If the rainforest had a red carpet, the violet Torocco would be the first to arrive and the last to leave. With its purple body, red crest, and glowing red wings, it doesn't have to try to impress. It is the definition of style, of charisma, of noise with purpose. So next time a gray pigeon stares at you in the city square, remember, somewhere in West Africa, a distant cousin is living like a true icon, colorful, loud, and necessary. Exactly how nature likes it. Number 4. Helmeted Hornbill, Rhinoplax vigils. Imagine a dinosaur secretly survived extinction, put on a luxury helmet, learned to fly between the trees like a modern-day pterosaur, and decided to live its life so extravagantly that its uniqueness made it vulnerable. That's the helmeted hornbill, or as he likes to be called when no one's looking, the last of the tropical dragons. Habitat: the green cathedrals of Southeast Asia. The helmeted hornbill lives in the primary rainforests of Southeast Asia, places like Thailand, Malaysia, Sumatra, Borneo, but not just any forest. It prefers towering ancient jungles, trees that resemble natural cathedral columns. Up there in the canopy, it flies from crown to crown with a powerful wing beat that echoes through the air like a primitive engine. Hearing a helmeted hornbill fly is like listening to a propeller plane crossing the forest. And seeing one fly, it's a privilege. It's almost like witnessing a mythical being, a fusion of bird, dragon, and living sculpture. Design: when evolution goes extra, and we're grateful, let's talk visuals. Because the helmeted hornbill doesn't go unnoticed even if it tried. Its body is cloaked in black, white, and coppery feathers, but the real highlight is the orange-yellow beak with a vivid red casque that extends over its head. And this is no metaphor, it is literally a helmet. But unlike other hornbills, this casque isn't hollow, it's solid, made from a special kind of ivory. Yes, nature gave a bird a solid ivory horn built into its face. The helmet name is no exaggeration. It looks like a piece of medieval armor or the final accessory of a legendary anime villain. It's as if nature asked, what if a bird had a frontal horn, sculpted with the elegance of an imperial spear, and could still fly? And the result was this absurdly impressive creature. Diet: a frugivore with personality. Despite looking like a D&D dragon boss, the helmeted hornbill is mostly a chill fruit eater. Its favorite food? Figs. It's basically the Michelin star critic of tropical fig trees. Choosy, refined, precise. But don't be fooled, it'll eat insects, lizards, even baby birds if the opportunity arises. Not aggressive, just practical. A little protein now and then keeps the helmet shining. Reproduction: love and literal lockdown. Its breeding behavior feels like a secret ritual. The female picks a cavity in a tall tree, goes inside, then seals herself in with mud, feces, and chewed fruit. Only her beak sticks out. Yes, she becomes a wall. Meanwhile, the male is responsible for feeding her for weeks or even months. He forages, brings food to the nest, and feeds his partner and later the chicks. This process, poetic and weird as it is, shows the level of trust and dedication in the species. A relationship based on literal surrender. The tragedy of the ivory helmet. Now comes the hard part. That helmet's so unique, so impressive, is also the reason the helmeted hornbill is on the brink of extinction. The casque is made of solid ivory, which attracts illegal hunters. In some local cultures, this red ivory is carved into ornaments and sculptures. And while African elephants are harder to reach, the hornbill becomes a lucrative and easier target. Illegal trade in their casque has surged in recent years. And even with laws and protection programs, the species is crashing in numbers. Here's nature's cruel irony. The very thing that protects, impresses, and distinguishes it is also its doom. Conservation status: Code Red. According to the IUCN, the helmeted hornbill is critically endangered, CR, meaning one step away from disappearing forever. Why? Illegal poaching for its casque, habitat loss due to deforestation and agriculture, slow reproduction dependent on very specific forests. It doesn't survive in secondary or sparse forests. If an old growth tree falls, the nest goes with it, and with that, the species' future. Conclusion: the last night of the forest. The helmeted hornbill feels like something out of forgotten mythology. It flies heavily, noisily, with presence. It's the creature you hear before you see, and when you do see it, you fall silent out of respect. If it were human, it'd be that giant, imposing friend who walks in quietly but leaves everyone speechless. Everyone thinks this one can handle anything, but in truth, it's always on the edge because the world is dangerous for those who are too unique. Losing this animal wouldn't just mean losing a bird, it would mean losing a living bridge between the past and the present, letting a dragon vanish through the back door of natural history. So next time someone asks why we should protect Southeast Asia's forests, you can say, because there's a dragon still flying in there, and he's trying to hang on. Number 3. Ribbontailed Astraia. Astraia mayeri. For the taxonomy savvy, this diva lives in the mountains of Papua New Guinea at altitudes between 1,800 and 3,450 meters, where the cold and mist give the forest the vibe of a medieval fantasy movie set. The male is about 32 centimeters long, but hold up, it has 2 tail feathers that can grow over 1 meter each. That's right, it's like a normal little bird stuck onto 2 massive satin ribbons that float in the wind. Its body is velvet black with metallic blue-green reflections on the chest and head, like it's wearing a velvet blazer that puts every pop star to shame. It feeds mainly on fruits and arthropods, making it an important seed disperser for the region translation. Gorgeous and doing volunteer reforestation work. When it flirts, it simply hangs upside down from a branch, sways its long tails in hypnotic waves, and flashes its shimmering chest to impress the females. Basically, it's a reverse pole dancer who doesn't even pay for gym membership. This bird is such a fashion icon that, if it were human, it'd be a fashion influencer strutting bizarre outfits no one really understands, but everyone claps anyway. Number 2. Ticked crow, Corvus crassirostris. If the animal world had a hierarchy of intelligence and influence, this one would be like a CEO, psychologist, hacker, and neighborhood manager all at once. We're talking about the ticked crow, or crested crow if you're wearing a scientific suit and tie. This bird lives between Ethiopia and Eritrea, ruling savannas, mountainous regions, and urban areas with the confidence of someone who knows they're the smartest in the neighborhood. It doesn't just live in the environment, it takes charge. Appearance, mottled, bulky, and commanding presence. First, let's take a look at this animal. The ticked crow is one of the largest crows in the world, reaching up to 64 centimeters in length. That's no small crow, it's almost a little dinosaur in a black suit. It has a body covered by black feathers with a slight metallic shine, that satin finish that gives off a dangerous but elegant vibe, intense eyes, and most notably an impressive beak. Thick, curved, robust looks like it does facial CrossFit. It's the kind of beak that demands respect just with a sidelong glance. If it were your gym buddy, it'd be the guy who trains only upper body, has trapezius muscles even on his neck, and shows up to parties carrying a 3-liter water jug. Food, all-you-can-eat buffet plus takeout. The ticked crow is an opportunistic omnivore, a fancy way of saying, I eat whatever I can, whenever I want, and if you slip up, I'll steal yours too. Its menu includes fruits and seeds, insects and small vertebrates, eggs of other birds, human garbage food scraps, and if there's any left, carrion. Yes, it's also nature's cleanup crew. If it went to a barbecue, it'd be that friend who piles their plate with rice, farafa, garlic bread, chicken heart, meat, mayo, sausage, and still asks, is there more sauce? And of course, it'd take leftovers home. Intelligence. Nature's hacker crows in general are known for their impressive intelligence, but the ticked crow is one step, maybe 2 above. It uses tools to get food, twigs, branches, little stones. Everything's a resource. Recognizes human faces, especially those who pose a threat, so watch out when you stare. Has complex communication with varied sounds used to warn, ask for help, or coordinate group strategies. Learns by watching, meaning it sees you opening a food box and boom, learned it. If this bird had access to a laptop, it'd have already hacked a Wi-Fi network and ordered bananas and fish scraps through an app. It's a feathered dark genius, like a movie villain you secretly root for. Social organization, the real neighborhood manager in Ethiopia, where it's most common. The ticked crow reigns supreme in urban and rural areas. It lives in flocks, forms alliances, settles disputes, participates in votes, probably mental ones, and coordinates its community more efficiently than many human neighborhoods. neighborhoods. It perches on towers, rooftops, tall trees, watching everything. Drop some food on the ground, it already saw, calculated the trajectory, decided if it's worth picking now or later. This bird is nature's big brother with photographic memory and zero patience for nonsense. Behavior, calculated boldness. Unlike birds that flee at the slightest sign of approach, the ticked crow just stares back at you. It knows it can fly away anytime, but prefers to size you up like it's doing a cold personality reading. It can steal food off a table, open simple containers, work in pairs to distract a dog while the other steals food from the bowl. Pretend it found something interesting just to trick another crow. Yes, there are lying crows. This bird is probably the most psychologically complex character in the Ethiopian ecosystem. Conservation status. Calmly judging humanity, the ticked crow is not currently endangered, which is a relief, but like many birds, it suffers from habitat loss, pollution, unplanned urban expansion, and mostly human underestimation, because some people look at a crow and just see a black bird, but this one is practically a post-apocalyptic oracle. If it could talk, it would say, "I've seen civilizations rise and fall, now pass the bread." Conclusion, the crow who'd win you in a debate. The ticked crow is strength, strategy, and dark humor, all wrapped in a nearly half-meter feathered body. It's that friend who doesn't talk much, but when it does, changes the course of the conversation. It's an animal whose disappearance would be felt by both the ecosystem and collective intelligence. So next time you see a crow, think twice before calling it small vulture or omen bird. It might understand, it might remember, and it might just be waiting for the right moment to throw that judgment back at you with interest. Number 1. Mandarin Duck. Ax galericulata, a native to East Asia, mainly China, Japan, and Russia, but nowadays also found in parks and lakes across Europe where it was introduced and became the VIP attraction. The male looks like it was built in The Sims with every colorful accessory activated at once. A red bill, white face with black and orange stripes, dark purple chest, metallic green back, bright orange flanks, and 2 upright orange feathers on the sides that look like tiny boat sails. The female is more discreet grayish brown with white spots, the type that lets her partner steal the spotlight while watching with a "oh, there he goes again" look. It eats seeds, aquatic plants, insects, small mollusks, and tiny fish, basically a buffet self-service customer who tries a bit of everything. In China, it's considered a symbol of love and fidelity because the couple usually stays together forever. It's so romantic that many couples decorate weddings with porcelain Mandarin ducks. If it were human, it'd be that couple of travel bloggers posting photos hugging in front of Buddhist temples with motivational captions. This duck is so beautiful, it looks like a living painting gliding on water. And that wraps up today's fashion show. Wait, before you go, I have a question for you. Which of these birds did you find the most surreal? Tell me in the comments which one of these living works of art you'd choose to strut around with, because honestly, any one of them would make us look like extras standing next to them. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting videos popping up right now on your screen. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.